Welcome to the Stronghold Podcast, Episode 2, Life Alone. I'm your host, Dave Barton. I fully intended to have Episode 2 start to unpack truth, one of the two pillars of Stronghold, but today's topic consumed me and is urgent. The squadron, down to 5 ships, of which only 3 were men of war, strove to stay together. To signal their location, they hung lanterns and fired guns nearly every half hour. Bulkley knew that if the Wager became separated from the fleet, not to mention Commodore Anson, there would be nobody to rescue them from sinking or from a shipwreck. They might be forced to spend their days, as Reverend Walter put it, on some desolate coast without any reasonable hope of ever getting off again. The Centurion was the first to disappear in the murk. After Bulkley spotted its flickering lights on the night of April 19th, he wrote in his account, "This was the last time I ever saw the Commodore." He discerned the other ships in the distance, but they too were soon gone, the sound of their booming guns smothered by the wind. The Wager was alone at sea, left to its own destiny. That was an excerpt from The Wager by David Grann. The year was 1741, and the British squadron were sailing through the Drake Passage and around Cape Horn, the southernmost point of South America. These ships were beaten by the waves that traveled uninterrupted by any land for over 13,000 miles until they'd reach Cape Horn and bottleneck through land once more. The waves announced their arrival with destructive force, and the storms are among the most legendary and vicious known to mankind. With that as a setting, I want to draw some comparisons between the Wager and our daily lives. First, there was a squadron in the first place. You see, the British did not load up a single ship for the mission. They knew the miles were great, the route arduous, and at its conclusion, there was a battle to wage. The stakes were too high. So a squadron was formed, with some ships battle-ready, strong, and decorated for war. There were other ships, such as the Wager, stocked with arms to carry out warfare. Lastly, there were supply ships to distribute the stores of survival amongst the others. How do we tend to view life? Do we feel that we are sufficient in all aspects, able to answer the call, and that life at no point will present a challenge we cannot overcome? I would say that view, even for the most equipped, hasn't yielded positive results in my experience. It seems the most capable people I know are quick to surround themselves with others that provide an answer to their deficiencies. In their squadron, there are warfighters, support roles, and supply people. Through a life of encounters, victories, defeats, comebacks, and trials, they seek others, a squadron. As the seas began to lay waste to their ships, they tightened their formation. In their endeavor, they knew that Cape Horn was in front of them and that success was not guaranteed. Beyond that, they realized that if they became separated, sinking, shipwreck, or best case scenario, living out a life as castaways lay ahead of them. To attempt to avoid separation, they fired their guns and lit lanterns to provide their location. If we accept that life is a serious endeavor, and that a squadron is required to provide a chance at success, then do we have a system in life to fire the guns and light the lanterns? Think about the friends, social circles, or groups that you're a part of. How deep do the conversations go? Are there opportunities to check in and discuss life? If you fire your gun or light your lantern in these settings, is there someone there to fix on your location? I pray the answer to this is yes, but realize for many it is only a dream. So let me frame that another way. If the community you are in provides these opportunities to share life and you feel like your squadron is tight, are you paying that forward? Are you listening for the gunshots and straining to see the lanterns in the darkness? I pray the answer to this is yes, because for some, that would be their dream coming to fruition. The excerpt I shared from the wager portrays beaten down ships. They were at the mercy of a merciless sea. They were damaged without any hope of repair. Here is where we can draw an important distinction in our lives. Unlike the wager, the squadrons we build and play a part in can serve each other, provide the materials to rebuild, and provide shelter from the storms of life. How do you know you have found that? That's an important question, and a podcast I heard recently provided a quote from Case Kenny that might provide a blueprint to identify the answer. The quote goes, "Remember who stood by your side as you rebuilt yourself. Those are your people." I'm blessed in life to have a powerful squadron. Michelle, Carter, Trevor, you are everything for me. Eli, you have seen my rebuild, and I have seen yours. We are not nearly finished. We've only just begun. Onward and upward. My Forge family, I have gained true brothers and an amazingly strong sister. I love you guys. I am blessed, as you can hear in my voice, yet it also carries an enormous responsibility to grow, nourish, protect, and constantly move forward. That responsibility is quickly becoming all-consuming in my life, and I love that. I want to surround myself and surround others with truth, value, and help them level up. The stakes are too high in life, and like Cape Horn, will almost certainly provide unimaginable storms. The Castaway by William Cowper. Washed headlong from on board, of friends, of hope, of all bereft, his floating home forever left. His comrades who before had heard his every blast could catch the sound no more. For then by toil subdued, he drank the stifling wave, and then he sank. No poet wept him, but the page of narrative sincere, that tells his name, his worth, his age, is wet with Anson's tear. You do not have to be the castaway, but you must choose in your heart to seek community. Your value is great, and the stakes are too high. Your mission as spouse, parent, friend, coworker, loved one is too vital. If you're listening and asking, what value do I have? Why are the stakes high? Well, have you seen your parents' marriage fail or experienced your own fall apart? Did your parents fall short or were they absent for whatever reason? Have you had friends fail you when you needed them most? Were your most desperate needs ever met with judgment instead of unconditional love? If yes, then you understand your value in this grand equation of life. You start to understand why the stakes are so high and the cost of not pursuing the best version of you. So find your squadron, offer value to them, be transparent, and take note of who is with you as you rebuild. So how might you go about finding this? If instead of your reality, all of this seems and sounds more like your dream. Sebastian Junger in his book Tribe shares a definition of community or tribe as a group of people that you would both help feed and help defend. There are some basic answers I could provide, such as finding groups that like what you like. Do you enjoy working out? Then go to the gym or join a class at the community center. Better yet, go find your local jiu-jitsu academy and you'll likely find some strong people comfortable in their weaknesses. As a good friend says, the mats don't lie. Maybe you like cars, so go find your local car club and be an active participant. Any of these examples and dozens more can start to get you in front of people. You never know which conversation might launch a relationship. Well, these are all possibilities. Let me share my number one suggestion that changed my life permanently and continues to impact it daily. Serving others. For many years, I would struggle with going to serving events with work or my church. I looked at it as if I was giving up my time. But when I went, I would almost always feel rejuvenated. It wasn't until my pastor shared a thought in one of his messages that my purpose in life became clear. He said, when we serve others, we discover what God has for us in life, not what he wants from us. It's amazing how someone's words can change us and provide a lens of which to view something differently. Now, whether you're a Christian or not, doesn't validate or negate that idea. I challenge you to serve others and remain fixated on your own issues or problems. Serving others gets us out of our heads and focused on helping others and their needs. And together, we share human experience with them. How does this relate to finding community? You see, when you serve with others, you are serving alongside people that are sharing that human experience. They are, at the least, prepared to spend time helping others. Sound like a possible great start at a squadron? It is. Shauna Dukes, in her book Even If, on healing from grief and loss, says, imagine knowing this is truth, that we are so much more resilient than we ever thought possible. This is a truth. You can look inward and find the tools, resources, and resilience needed to find community. But you, and only you, can make that determination. It doesn't have to be flawless. It may involve searching, setbacks, being messy and vulnerable, and meeting other messy people. But that is life, and if viewed correctly, is a rewarding pursuit. So I beg you to take this to heart, and do not find yourself alone at sea, left to your own destiny. Do not live life alone. Thank you for joining me and listening into the Stronghold Podcast.